Devontae Adams just tweeted, "Flush it and respond."
I like it.
Welcome to the Packers family. I'm Damon Sewell.
I'm Christian Walter.
And today we're going to analyze Lions at Packers for Week 2 of the 2021 NFL season. Week 1 was not the best. If you wanted to see our immediate feelings on that game, go back and re-watch our instant reaction to the game. But like the Packers, we're moving on.
Week 2, here we come.
And it's at home.
Yes. I expect the fans to be roaring after our Week 1 performance.
Hopefully so. I know at home I will be.
Yes.
That's for sure. First thing I want to talk about is the Packers. We'll get to the Lions in a little bit because the Packers, we did have some time to digest it a little bit, and we did get to some things in our reaction video. First things first, our defense.
I didn't like it at first. We didn't show how I'd hope we would come out.
It didn't look much different from Mike Pettine's defense. It looked almost exactly the same. Our defensive line seems to need some help still. They're getting off the blocks, weren't the best at all. Didn't get any pass rush. And like last week we talked about leading into the Saints game, the Saints do have a really good offensive line. They were a good measuring stick. Can definitely tell that our pass rush needs some help. Kevin King.
I think we need to get him off the field somehow. And I agree. I think it should be Eric Stokes. He's got the more speed to catch up on receivers that seem to want to consistently burn Kevin King.
Kevin King allowed 2 deep passes against the Saints, and he's not bad when it comes to up close, but it seems like he always gets burned. I think if you have Eric Stokes out there, he has a lot of recovery speed, similar to that of Sam Shields back in an old Packer from the early teens. He would let people get by him, but he had so much speed that he could get back and make the pass defense, as Kevin King doesn't seem to have that ability. Eric Stokes does. He's Eric Stokes go fast. DBs in general, it seems they need to be playing closer, right on them. Some man coverage, maybe some press. They've been playing way off. There was one play where Kevin King...
He was like 10 yards off the wide receiver, and I don't like that. The Saints literally manned us press all game pretty much, and you can see the result that we had.
The Saints had some really young DBs.
Yeah,
and
not a lot of experience back there.
And they were able to go out and perform to a high level just because they were able to get our receivers off. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit when we get to the offense. But it seems like our DBs are having problems with that because they're not seeming comfortable. Like they're just, I don't know, they're playing off really bad. And so that needs to change, we feel like. And, of course, there's nothing we can do about it. It's just something we're seeing. And like I said, Joe Barry's defense doesn't look much different from Mike Pettine's at all.
It didn't look any different.
Our defensive line is still the same. Our DBs are the same. Jair did awesome. Our safety seemed to do well. We're hoping Savage is going to be okay. It doesn't seem like it's a long-term shoulder injury. Like he's going to be able to play on Monday. Thankfully, because there's an extra day of rest on that. But on to our offense.
There wasn't much to put out on the field.
Not much at all. It seemed like our timing was off. Like there were plays to be made. It was just maybe the pass was a little to the left or a little to the right or maybe a little high or a little low. The running lanes, first of all, there wasn't much running at all, but the running lanes seemed to be there, but maybe we're just missing just a little bit here. There's a couple plays where I saw like it looked like Aaron Jones could have broken some, maybe even A.J. Dillon, but just missed it just a little bit where they could just get tackled. we missed some opportunities in those areas. So it just seemed like we're a little off or a little rusty, just missing on some plays here and there that really would have broken the game in a different direction. And those little plays, those little inches here and there makes a huge difference where you could play a really close game 20-22, a 38-3 blowout. If we're off against the Lions, it's going to affect us just as much against the Lions as it did at the Saints. The Lions do seem, based on what I've seen on tape and stuff, seem worse than the Saints. But it doesn't matter. If the timing is off, the ball's not being completed or being picked off or something because it's just a little off, the offensive line just a little off or whatever, the Lions are going to beat us too. We have to get that shirt up, and that comes with reps that I believe we ended up missing in the preseason. Our third down conversion rates.
It was terrible.
It was so bad. We didn't have our first third down conversion until the game was already in hand, and we decided to put Jordan Love in for some reps. Jordan Love got the first third down conversion, not Aaron Rodgers. The Saints at that point were probably playing some looser coverage and stuff. Jordan Love did not see the same defense that the first string did. So he had some opportunities there, and it was a good look for Jordan Love, and don't get me wrong, but we didn't have, our third down rate needs to be better, and a lot of that comes back to just timing.
Having a good run game to keep the chains moving instead of going backwards or, incomplete passes. And, if we can establish a good running game, then we get into our play action, deep balls down the field.
Mm-hmm.
That's what our offense is. That's what opens up our offense at that point.
And against the Saints, we didn't have much of a running game because we just didn't do it. We didn't get into a good rhythm. We need more of a running game against the Lions because there are opportunities to run the ball against them because they don't have what I could tell from a really good defensive line. So there are opportunities to be able to run against the Lions.
Yeah, the 49ers rookie running back, and not Trey Sermon. I forgot, I think his last name's Mitchell or something like that.
Yeah, their third string running back.
He went off on the Lions yesterday.
So you can only imagine what the likes of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon would be able to do. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. We need to run the ball more.
Yes.
Another thing is, anytime our offense, our team in general, is down, it seems like our offense feels like they have to go out and score a bunch of points immediately. And that really throws us off timing.
Yeah, trying to deep bomb right away, it's not always the answer. I mean, if it's there, take it, but...
Aaron Rodgers was doing too much toward the end of that. I mean, he had that one interception where he threw the ball really deep, and it turned out just to be an arm punt.
That was a good play by the
It was a good,
though. Like that,
great play by the
safety. Made some ground.
Yeah, he had some recovery speed there, and I think that surprised Aaron Rodgers even. But we can't be doing that, not unless it's there. So we have to be having those on-timing plays to set that stuff up, and that starts with running the ball, like you said, play action, getting that all moving smoothly like a well-oiled machine, and that wasn't what we had against the Saints. So that's why I think we should start with the ball. If we win the toss, don't defer. I mean, later on, don't get me wrong, I like it when teams defer because they won the opportunity. They get the chance to go into half with a score and then try to double up on it, getting the ball again in the second half. That's a good way to put teams away early. But it seems in our case, we need to start with the ball and go score, and that way to put our offense at ease and our defense at ease. It hasn't worked out for us in the so far this season. I mean, it's just one game, but we need to start with the ball so we can get our offense humming and get our defense feeling pretty good about themselves, knowing they had that cushion.
Yeah, we got punched in the mouth, and I want to come out and punch the Lions in the mouth.
That's right, because
we need
to fight.
we don't need to have a touchdown.
We don't need our kneecaps bitten off by the Lions at this point in the season. Lions offense. What did you see from the Lions offense?
I like both their running backs. Of course, we got ex-Packer Jamal Williams. It still hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts a lot, but...
We love you, Jamal.
He looked good. DeAndre Swift, at the end, was looking really good.
They have a 1-2 punch in that. Jamal Williams, he's always been a fighter. Anytime he gets hit, he tries to shake him off. He makes some ground. He looked amazing out there for the Lions. And DeAndre Swift was a great change of pace back there, and he was able to take that to another level, it seemed like, with that 1-2 punch. And let me tell you, our defensive line, Packers defensive line,
It didn't look good.
So, they're going to have some pretty, fantasy football, I mean, Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift might be a good play against the Packers defensive line, way things are looking. Tyler Lancaster, I don't know what he's even doing out there half the time. But I digress. Their offensive running backs with Jamal and DeAndre Swift looks great.
Their wide receivers are a little to be desired on my end. There's a lot of no names on that
Right.
people don't really know.
St. Brown looked pretty good there for them, but really there was a lot of think and dunk kind of passes with the Lions. You see Jared Goff. It was basically the Lions' offense was a Jared Goff special from the Rams. A lot of you need to run the play action, try to look for the deep bomb, not there, check down. There was a couple times I saw Jared Goff immediately get the ball and just immediately look toward the check down. He wasn't even looking downfield. He was looking for the check down.
Yeah. Very Jared Goff-like.
Very Jared Goff-like offense. And
it works.
It works a bit. And the thing is, it's really hard to tell from the film we saw against the Niners because the Niners defense is so good. Now, you might be saying, well, it was a really close game, but you said this.
Yeah, I think the Niners, like any team, once you get up, you kind of start playing a little softer defense.
And that's exactly what I think happened, and the Lions were able to get back into it. You know, I've always heard the saying, prevent defense prevents you from winning. And that's been the case. And the Niners almost lost it because
it was close because of it.
They were playing some soft defense. That being said, that's something for the Packers to learn from, too. There's been times in the past several years where the Packers will end up having that happen. I'm thinking of last year's opening day game against the Vikings. We got big against the Vikings, and they started coming back in there because we were playing some soft defense. Look, you need to, and the Lions, I hope, learned this. Well, I actually hope they didn't learn it because, you know, division rival there. But you don't let off the gas. I mean, Matt LaFleur said it a couple seasons, all gas, no beep brakes.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with that. You just got to let them have it no matter what. It's your job as the defense to stop them. If you can't, well, you can't. Put up as many points as you possibly can. Saints did against us.
And the Lions could very well play spoilers for us.
And we don't want that. So that was the Lions offense, Lions defense.
It wasn't good. They couldn't stop a nosebleed.
They couldn't.
For a while.
Their defensive line might be just as bad as the Packers' defensive line. There's some running lanes in there to be had. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, they could have a really good game, especially if the Packers' point of emphasis is to run the ball. That's going to be there. It's also going to be really tempting to kind of help us get our passing game on our hand, too, because their DBs are not very good either, it seems like. And they lost their best DB.
Yeah, Jeff Okudah.
He had a season-ending injury. I feel bad for the guy. He was picked last year in the, I think, third overall pick in 2020. Didn't have a great season last year. This training camp, he was looking really good, and he got injured, and he's out for the rest of the season. So I feel bad for Jeff Okudah.
It's always tough for a star DB to go down on any team.
Yeah, but that's a chance for the Packers to maybe even get their passing game rhythm back on schedule. There's a lot to be seen still. It's just week 2. Hopefully the Packers can do enough to beat the Lions at home. The Lions have always played the Packers tough.
Always.
The Lions on paper may not be a very good team, but doesn't matter. It could be the Lions could be on their way to the wild card playing the Packers stuff, or they could be on their way to being 0-16, now 0-17, and they'll play the Packers tough. They're always going to be that way because it's the Lions.
The Lions showed a lot of heart yesterday.
And they did show a lot of heart. So that being said, let us know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe, and go Pack Go.